Alright, stay tuned to hear how you can win your own colony of 15 plus, mostly female, grade A. You pick the color and species between snails, crabs, and shrimp, and soon to be fish. And they come with hardscape, aquascape, food samples for nearly 6 months worth of food, botanicals, which give medical care and offer an awesome aquascape or tank decor. We're going to get into all of it, so stay tuned. One person this weekend is going to win a free setup of their choice of the shrimp breeder kits from Aquatic Arts, and everyone this weekend will be able to get 20% off this breeder kit, which is already a deal. So stay tuned. We're going to talk about how you can get that deal and how you can get 15% off at Aquatic Arts every day just by watching this channel. And yet again, how you can win your own breeder setup for Neocaridina shrimp from Aquatic Arts. We're going to give away one of those kits, and everyone for this weekend only of Aquashella 2022, we are going to be giving a 20% discount with the code here on the channel and at Aquashella in person only. So stay tuned, act quick, and order this weekend if you're seeing this and you're interested in it. If you missed it, it's the future. Well, you still can get 15% off, so don't fret. This is an awesome deal and a really cool way to start keeping shrimp, or just to start a healthy, happy colony that is active and interesting for your nano tanks. I'll talk to you guys in just a second about how we built all this, how we acclimated these critters, and what the plan is for the future, plus feeding them some of their samples. So stay tuned and get ready to look at the new breeder box kits and everything that comes in them from aquaticarts.com. Hey guys, what is going on? It is the secret history living in your aquarium, and it is time. I have gotten the shrimp from the shrimp breeder box from Aquatic Arts, and I got over 15 shrimp. I believe there's 18 adults actually, and there are at least 11 or 12 females of full size, and then the rest are males. All look really good quality. But I just got home from AGA, the Aquatic Gardeners Association, with amazing aquascapes. People like George Farmer, Alex Winchell were talking there from Tank Tested channel. But now I am inspired and I'm ready to get back and use the stuff that came in the kit, plus just a few other inexpensive other key plants and stones and things that I have around the house or around my property, in my yard even. And we are going to put together the things they gave us in the kit. The shrimp have been in an acclimation tank for the last few days while I was in Chicago, and the botanicals have been soaking and sinking, and so now everything's ready to go. So let's put it all together and see what exactly it is you could build with these kits, because I love the idea of kits and I love trying out the different kits that are out there, but Aquatic Arts has a great one. And for the weekend of Aquashella alone, there will be a code that I put pinned in the comments that will get you 20% off all those kits as a promotion from them, and also just tied to me doing this scape as kind of a thank you, and also as a trying to encourage people to get into the hobby of shrimp keeping. So check it out and follow that link if you want to get a kit of your own. But let's get inside and get those shrimp that were unboxed into a nice little scape and hope they start breeding up a storm. Here we are in the fish room checking in on things. It's late at night. I just got in from Chicago, like I said. But these guys have been able to eat all the algae and stuff they want, and also color up in a little bit warmer water. It's room temperature, no heater needed. If you've got a room temperature, 72 to 76 or so is perfect. And that's what this room happens to be. And you can see the shrimp have just turned so solid gold. They look so beautiful. These are great quality shrimp. Now this tank they're in is an old tank. It's got lots of algae and things, and so they've been eating all the biofilm and algae out of this. But I'm gonna grab them one by one with my favorite net that you can also usually get from Aquatic Arts. This dip net here, easily they will get caught by this, whereas other fishing nets, they don't seem to get caught as easily. So when you put it down, they tend to jump back. And with this, you can kind of trap them and they'll jump back, but then they'll jump right into the net itself. And then they're in there, but they're in water. And I've had this one for over a year and it's holding up great. You can see the other shrimp weren't startled by that, so I'm not chasing everyone around. But I'm gonna move these guys into the new tank and check back in with you guys right after I finish scaping it. Alright, so this is gonna be my workstation. And as you can see, we've got the cholla wood sunken in the tank already. We've got the other piece of cholla wood kind of nestled in. And what I'm doing is, even though I would recommend most people use a sponge filter, I'm going to be using a filterless tank with an air stone underneath this lotus pod that's about 6 months old and been in another tank, because that is going to have plenty of surface area for a small shrimp tank for them both to graze at first, but also to cycle the entire tank. And while I was quarantining slash just acclimating the shrimp, you can see the amount of tannins that are coming out of the wood. Now this is totally harmless and totally fine. A lot of times you'll see some kind of slime or growth on there, and that's just called white rot or freshwater rot. Now the word rot sounds bad, but it isn't. It's no big deal whatsoever. So the next step that we need to do is we could either use string or cyanoacrylate, or rather super glue. I like the gel kind coming in this container because you can use it over and over. It's cheap, $2 or $3, and I'll glue this to a stone, these nice pieces of moss that Aquatic Arts sent out. And in this portion, I mean, I could have put them on the cholla wood, I could put it on another piece of stone from the garden, and then I just grabbed some anubias that I had growing in another tank, and it's kind of growing back towards the back wall, and I want it to fill in the front, so I'm gonna put it facing kind of opposite the light, because when this is set up, this big old light isn't going to be on there. That's just so we can see some of the other plants and things I want to work with, some of the stones I got in the garden. And then again, that botanical pack, I'll have botanicals to switch out for a super long time. I've already got a catappa almond leaf all sunken, because a lot of times they'll float at first, and that's fine. You can just float them for a while and then deal with it. But it'll sink on its own and then start growing this kind of slimy layer on it. But that slime is nutrition and tannins, antifungal and antibacterial material that's really good for your shrimp and many nano fish as well. So we're going to keep going with this, and we're going to start scaping it, but we're also going to prep the pieces that are just going to be in here. So like the stone, I want to have a carpet in this tank of sorts, but I'm going to create that with moss so it can be really low light. I don't have to do fertilizers or anything like that that could upset the shrimp. So we're going to use all really slow growing plants for the most part. And then we've already got the tannins in here and the substrate settled. So I'm going to do that. We'll move the shrimp in from the other tank, and then we will, you'll see the ultimate layout that ends up being created, and then we'll feed the shrimp and see how they're doing. I don't think they've eaten for about 24 hours, so this should be fun. So let's get a move on. So with the cyanoacrylate, I literally just apply about that much, just a little covering of it, and then while it's still wet, it can even be wet on the moss. I'll apply the moss, push it down. Now if you get a little too gloopy with it, it's going to look white, and so we'll see if any pieces of that come up. But that's as simple as it is. The oxygen, even within water, will fix to a surface that's wet when you use cyanoacrylate based aka super glue, the original kind. And the gel kind works best, in my opinion, for aquascaping purposes. Now you can use this on wood, you could even use it on a leaf, but that would decay pretty quickly. But we're going to use it on some stones, and then we'll be able to literally just sink the stones right into the scape, and they're going to look phenomenal, just nestled right in there. And you can make moss that isn't really grafted onto anything look like it's growing naturally out of corners and things, and over time it'll really start grabbing on to all these surfaces and will look totally natural, and then the shrimp will keep it clean, which is really fun to watch. Alright, the shrimp are in their tank and they're off to the races, hanging out. So we'll feed them soon after we just put them in, but I'm going to let them acclimate for about an hour, and then we'll feed them some of the food that they gave us at Aquatic Arts to try feeding them. But even in a tank this small, you can really enjoy them, and some will breed within a tank this small. Now, the bigger the tank you give them, the more space they have to breed and the more babies they're going to have. But they will still breed in a tank like this, and with a grade this high of shrimp, I think it's just really fun to watch them and see how colorful they are and see them crawling in and out of the aquascapes that you build them. And at this size, you can literally pick up this tank and bring it with you, move it to a desk, move it into another room, whatever it is that you need to do. It's super handy and super fun to take care of. Shrimps are happy in their little home. You can see them going around. They're eating the biofilm off the cholla wood like I said they would. They're kind of gathering in the exact places where I was hoping they would, in the tangled areas that are dense where they feel protected. Yet we've got some really beautiful females that are just top-notch grade A neocaradinas. And you can also see the males. A lot of them have that gold stripe down their back. And even though this scape took less than an hour to put together, I think they're having a lot of fun. And it's going to be totally cycled and ready for them as long as you don't overfeed. As long as your water is clean and has no nitrites or no ammonia and low nitrates, it's ready to go. They're not like fish that produce enough waste that they're going to need a lot of that cycling to have a happy, healthy life. You can put them in, and that cycling will develop alongside of them. You can see they're already eating that white water rot, as I called it. That one right there is cleaning it and tasting it, checking it out. All these are feeding on it. So they'll continue to clean the scape for me. And then if algae builds up over time on the rocks that's hard that they can't clean, I'll toss in the nearite snails. But if you want the discount for these, the weekend of Aquashella, it's going to be 20% off for any of these breeder packs that comes with everything I showed you guys, with the botanicals, with a bunch of the food samples, so you can try out 3 or 4 different food samples, and also it comes with the moss. So I literally just got some rocks from my yard, the substrate, the tank, a light, and then I decided to add 2 simple plants. And there we have it. This fits right on your desk, and not a huge tank or anything. If you want to breed actively trying to make money, you probably want to start with a 5, 10, 20 gallon with one of these kits or 2 of these kits, but they're super affordable right now. And these are all bred in America, top grade shrimp, and more loaded towards females, which makes it super easy to get your colony up and running quickly. So I've got tons of videos and playlists just for shrimp genetics, neocaridina like these, and caridina shrimp, as well as how to start lines, how to treat them with illness when they have illness and things. But you won't have to deal with any of that through Aquatic Arts, which is awesome because their shrimp are healthy and they've already been set aside, quarantined, and cared for really well. So you can just focus on putting together a scape like this and enjoying it. And, you know, it comes with the moss. It even comes with the monofilament to tie it to your cholla wood and stuff. And as you can see, they love that cholla wood. They love the leaves. and you've got food for probably 6 months. So why not try it out? See how you do. Let me know. And we're also going to give away one of these kits this weekend as well. So in the comments below, let me know if you're subscribed and you want a free set of these. Just let me know in the comments that you know the code that's pinned. Just reply. Just put the same code that I put in the pinned comment. Whatever that code is that gets you 20% off, just repost it in my comments, and that will get you guys a drawing into this same thing. And you can pick the same color, or you can pick whatever color you want of shrimp. So any of the breeder kits for the shrimp, you guys can select and try it out. And then I'll keep you guys updated on how these guys end up doing in my low-tech, almost no maintenance setup of a tiny little desk-sized aquascape from Aquatic Arts. Now, for everyday low prices from them, you can always check them out. And for a little bit more of a deal, check my latest videos. Whatever my latest videos are will have whatever the code is to get the best discount, whether that's a 15% off or a 20% off or a 25% off for a sale or a deal. I'll always have that posted for you. On the last note, I just want to say, look at them out and about. They're super happy in this tank. They're all over the botanicals, and that is what those botanicals are for. They're not on the rocks. They're on the living stuff with food on it, and they are happy and colorful, bright as ever. So thanks so much, Aquatic Arts, for doing what you do and sending these over. And again, in the comments, if you want to try to win a free shrimp breeder kit of any color Neocaridina you select, you know, blues, reds, greens, whatever it is that they have on their site this weekend for Chicago Aquashella 2022, just comment whatever I pinned as the code so that everyone knows how to get 20% off all breeder packs. And if you decide to buy one, you'll get 20% off. If you don't want to buy one, you can also still enter the drawing by commenting with that code and just leaving it in the comments. Thanks, guys.